Although Maya survives The Strangers, Chapter 1, one fan theory suggests that this may set up a major twist later in the reboot trilogy. The Strangers, Chapter 1 sees Froey Gutierrez's Ryan and Madeleine Petch's Maya's idyllic stay at a remote holiday home ruined by the eponymous masked invaders. Following on from 2008 sleeper hit The Strangers and its belated 2018 sequel The Strangers, Pray at Night, The Strangers, Chapter 1 is a reboot and a semi-prequel simultaneously, with the new movie promising to explain the origins of the titular strangers in its 2 upcoming sequels. However, The Strangers, Chapter 1 is not set before the original 2008 movie. Instead, the movie takes place in the present, effectively remaking the original movie with Ryan and Maya. The Strangers trick the heroes into shooting and killing an innocent bystander, as they did in The Strangers, before killing the male member of the duo and leaving a female survivor. The Strangers, Chapter 1's ending promises that this won't be the end of the story, with the reboot trilogy instead following final girl Maya as she continues to fight the Strangers throughout 2 more movies. The Strangers theory, Madeleine Petch is a red herring final girl. The Strangers, Chapter 1's director said Maya would be the trilogy's focus. Although The Strangers, Chapter 1's post-credit scene reveals that Maya is still alive, this doesn't necessarily mean that she will make it through the rest of the trilogy. In an interview with the Kingcast, The Strangers, Chapter 1 director Rennie Harlan said that he shot the 3 new Strangers movies simultaneously. Harlan mentioned that Petch's character goes through an emotional odyssey throughout the trilogy, with the director saying that he wanted to take a deep dive into Maya's psychology. This could be a misdirection that will make her eventual death a huge shock for viewers. Keeping Maya alive could be a clever trick that would make the trilogy's ending uniquely devastating if she did eventually get killed in the final movie. Maya surviving The Strangers, Chapter 1 makes her death feel unlikely since the series invested so much screen time in establishing her character. Her surviving the first sequel would only make the chance of her death seem even lower. The Strangers, Chapter 1's ending causes a problem here since the second movie in the series can't kill off Petch's final girl without leaving viewers with no heroic character to root for in the sequel. Maya is doomed to die at the end of The Strangers, Chapter 3. Maya's death would be a genuinely unexpected twist. Although this may seem surprising, it is relatively unlikely Maya will survive until the end of The Strangers reboot trilogy. The Strangers, Chapter 1's focus on her, and the movie's ending promising to continue this focus, makes her seem like a classic final girl. However, this is an approach that the franchise has repeatedly relied on in earlier outings. In contrast, it would be a genuinely surprising and original ending for Maya to be killed, especially when compared to her predecessors, Liv Tyler's Kristen in The Strangers and Bailey Madison's Kinsey from The Strangers, Pray at Night. In the original movie's final girl, Kristen endures almost the same fate as Maya, waking up from apparent death at the last moment after the Strangers leave. The Strangers, Chapter 1's ending sets up a hospital-set sequel, whereas Kristen's survival is only implied in The Strangers. The Strangers, Pray at Night's Kinsey made it to the hospital but, like Maya, was left with the creepy feeling that the Strangers were still stalking her. Thus, Maya dying in The Strangers, Chapter 3 would be a more original end for her character arc than another story of unlikely survival. Would Maya's death or survival have a bigger impact on the Strangers franchise? Maya's death would be shocking, but this may not be good. The Strangers, Chapter 1, Maya, Madeleine, Petch custom image by Debanjana Chowdhury. Maya dying in the Strangers reboot trilogy would be truly shocking, but this doesn't necessarily mean that the twist would work better than her survival. Maya's death would be a crushing blow that would subvert audience expectations as it proved that her final girl status was a red herring. However, outside of novelty, this twist doesn't offer much. It would be much more surprising if the Strangers reboot trilogy explained the villains and their motives, since neither of the franchise's earlier outings managed to pull this off. In comparison, Maya dying unexpectedly would be shock value for its own sake.